Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today's April 20th, and we're here with Links with Friends, but we're missing a friend. What? Is it April 20th?
Do you realize that you did that every episode last week?
What did I do?
Say it again.
I don't remember what I said. April 20th? Links with Friends? We're missing a friend? We weren't missing a friend last week.
Well, the first word is wrong. It's May.
It's May! You're right, it is May. You know, I haven't changed my calendar. I'm an old fogey, and I keep like a paper calendar up on my wall, and I haven't changed it from April, so my brain is just like, it's still April.
But what about the one on your desktop and on your Outlook calendar?
And literally everywhere else. And like today I was literally making notes for a client and was like, today is like, and just time isn't real.
Windows out. He's negotiating trade deals right now. So
that's not true.
Hopefully he'll be back next week.
That would be great for us if that was true, but I don't think it is.
But we'll talk about some government news without him. And this one is such a popular law, attempted law, bill, that it just keeps coming back. Even though time after time, people rally against it. And they're like, no, we must not have this. This is horrible. This is draconian. And they're like, we'll change it a little bit and reintroduce it until we get it.
Congress renews fight over kids' online safety with revived KOSA bill. Kids Online Safety Act.
So, yeah, they have supposedly more support this time. Last time it was 91-3 in the Senate. So they've maybe greased some pockets.
Yeah.
Made some promises. But they're going to keep trying. That, of course, what's wrong with that? We've covered this exhaustively, but that is going to lead to you have to have your ID on file to use the internet, basically, is where they want to go with that.
Yeah, which, you know, I get wanting to protect kids, but everybody having no anonymity on the internet, that's no fun. Nobody liked it when Google did it on YouTube years ago. Nobody's going to like it now.
And that's not going to do anything to protect the kids.
Yeah, it's just going to be the same terrible cesspool it's always been.
Yeah. And another terrible cesspool that's going to continue to be a terrible cesspool, even though we had a plan to get, you know what, we're going to filter the water just a little bit in the cesspool. We're going to introduce some bleaching agents, something, but no, that's been canceled.
White House scraps plan to block data brokers from selling Americans sensitive data. Again, perhaps a bribe.
They did point out that there's an industry group that had lots of lobbying going on. Shocking, huh? It seems like they always get their way. But here's an interesting one. It's always fun to see the federal government overreaching. It's a 10th Amendment thing, right? But a state coming in and doing it correctly.
Montana, surprise, becomes first state to close the law enforcement data broker loophole.
Wow. You just crapping all over Montana.
I feel like we never see them in any sort of headline. Like, it's usually the Northeast that you see these kind of laws first, or California.
They're on the scene. You've been sleeping on them.
Yeah.
They've been behind the scenes just doing it. So, yeah, the whole idea here is that ICE, for example, we've seen a lot of them. What they do is rather than get a warrant, they just buy the data with your tax dollars. So if they don't have to even bother getting a judge to approve it because it's for sale somewhere. Montana is saying that's no longer legal. If you try to sidestep a warrant by buying it, that is now illegal in Montana. Congratulations, Montana.
Good time to be in Montana. And tell me how great the Bob Marshall Wilderness is.
And if you're wondering why we need those kinds of protections, it's because of this. And if they can't buy it, I guess they're just going to make their own.
Border agents are going to photograph everyone leaving the U.S. by car.
Not just photograph, facial recognition. So just like the airport, you know how they told us that the airport thing was always going to be optional? Well, it's not. And now there's this. Why would we need this? Wouldn't we need to protect them when they're coming in? Well, they say no. They say that they are worried about self-deportation and those people possibly coming back.
That doesn't make even a lick of sense.
Even if it did make sense, that should be a low priority, right?
Yeah.
We should stop people from coming in.
That's what they've claimed to want, but I don't think that's what it is at all. I think it's about control.
Yeah, I think what they want is a database of everybody's face. And when it comes to bringing things in, you know what we want to bring in? Manufacturing. That's the whole point of all this madness, right? But we're not going to get it from one company.
Donald Trump tells Apple CEO Tim Cook to stay out of India. We're not interested. India can take care of itself. They really found a good picture of him mean mugging here, didn't they?
I can think of 2 other countries I'd like him to say that about.
Not going
that
to.
he doesn't. So yeah, Apple is standing strong here, it seems, because, I mean, that's not realistic, I don't think, for them to make iPhones over here.
Not right now. I mean, I could see it like, hey, can we have an initiative and like start? But like, you can't just drop everything and start it within like 6 months.
But that would be very expensive.
Yeah.
Very expensive.
They're already very expensive.
They would probably be double price, right?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty crazy. Be some high-paying jobs, though. And the big story of the week is the on-again, off-again nature of the tariffs continues. Now they are kind of off.
U.S. and China agree to drastically roll back tariffs in major trade breakthrough. I'm sure by the time you see this, once again, there will be some new development here.
Supposedly 90 days, but I'm sure that that's not set in stone. And immediately afterwards, after there was kind of that feel-good moment, it's like, maybe we can come together and find something. There was some more anger unleashed.
China blasts new U.S. rule banning use of Huawei's Ascend advanced computer chips.
So the U.S., this has echoes of our nuclear strategy, which is to tell other people whether or not they can do things. So they have told the whole world, hey, if you don't want to be sanctioned, you better not get these chips.
If you want to sit at our table at lunch.
Exactly. Yeah. You're going to have to, first of all, give me 1 chicken nugget per meal.
Oh, that's tough.
And not buy Ascend AI chips.
You have to trade me your chocolate milk.
And the UN, we have covered this one before. We told you before, it's toothless, it's voluntary, it's meaningless, it's just a PR campaign. But they're going to do it again the same way.
Nations meet at UN for killer robot talks as regulation lags.
Yeah, you know who's not going to follow that?
Literally anybody.
The US, China, Russia, Ukraine, Israel. No one cares what they say.
The drones know better than us.
But they feel better about themselves, maybe, so it's all worth it. And here is it's bad news for the big tech company, but maybe some good news for the creators who have been screaming about this for some time.
The U.S. Copyright Office has thoughts on how AI is trained. Big tech may not like it.
So they're saying that, okay, well, first of all, there's the argument of if we don't do it, China will do it, right? And they're saying that's probably true. And it is probably true. I kind of believe that.
I mean, they infamously don't really care about copyright.
But they say...
Or patents.
They say we're going to draw a line between research purposes and like advancing the art of AI versus commercial ventures.
I think that's fair.
But most of the advancement has come from the commercial use. So, I mean, DeepSeek, I guess, would fly in the face of that, though, right?
Right.
They do commercialize it in some ways, but it's open. So, yeah, it seems like they're signaling training data, maybe some rules for that. Maybe some rules they're not going to like.
Which, I mean, at this point, everything's been hoovered up at least once, so maybe it doesn't matter. But
yeah, so follow up from that. I'm pretty sure this was the story. Yeah, Shira Perimeter? That was the Register of Copyrights who issued this statement. She was then fired. We're definitely seeing a lot of AI friendliness coming out of the Trump administration.
Well, they did pay $1 million.
I think they might have paid more than that.
Yeah. Since then, the $1 million was just to get you in the club.
And we've decided to roll back the data brokerage stuff, and we've decided to put pause on another seemingly simple rule that would make a lot of sense for everybody.
FTC hits pause on click to cancel rule.
So this is the idea that if you clicked to sign up with one click and it was very easy, then you should be able to click to cancel rather than to have to call.
No dark patterns, basically.
Yeah, it's worse than dark patterns. I mean, you literally have to get on the phone and sit for hours and you have to like fight with them because they want to retain you, because those people are paid commission on if they can retain you. So they'll just hang up on you rather than take the L. Like, it's just such a broken system. And everybody's happy with it because, You know?
Well, everybody that's not the consumer is happy
the
with
consumer
it.
doesn't matter. I mean, come on. And we had the big budget bill, the tax bill, and as is the tradition for our horrible government, you don't make it about the thing that it's called. You sneak in other stuff. You add other things to your bills. And this one seems a little alarming.
House GOP proposes 10-year ban on state AI regulations.
Once again, this feels like a 10th Amendment.
Can you do that? Just say the states can't make laws about this?
I have read that 10th Amendment, and it says that, if not explicitly granted to the federal government, they don't get to make these kind of decisions. It's weird how we've abandoned that. So, yeah, they're saying, hey, once again, we got to compete with China. And if you pesky states are trying to stop us from doing that, we can't have it. Now, this is not passed yet, but it shows you what they're thinking.
I want to get out of their mind. I don't want to think these thoughts.
Well, we have to try something. I've got to predict what their next move is going to be. Well, this one's easy to predict because Elon Musk wants, Elon Musk gets.
FCC threatens EchoStar licenses for spectrum that SpaceX wants to use.
So this was Dish. Dish had these licenses. EchoStar bought Dish and thus got all of their spectrum. And SpaceX claimed to do a study, and they're saying, oh, we don't think they're using any of this. And if they're not using it, then everybody else should get it, right?
Is that how it works with things you own?
Generally not.
Oh, they're not using it, so therefore I should get it. That's how I feel about all of Elon Musk's, jets and houses, and he's not using it, so I should use it, right?
He probably uses it, right? Isn't he commuting between Washington and Texas? Plus his weekend trips. I mean, come on. And this one, I should have put this with the Montana thing because, this just goes to show you that this kind of thing is coming whether we like it or not, unless we explicitly stop it now.
More airports are scanning faces. A new bill would limit the practice. As someone who's considering doing a flight later this year, I'm like, oh.
You got to get the real ID.
I know. Or do a passport, which is also annoying.
Which, you know what that means. You're going to have to pass a vision test.
Yeah.
You say that as if you can.
I can. I have to have vision correction. There's a thing on my license now that's like, if this person's not wearing contacts or glasses, she is in violation of the law because she is blind.
All right, we'll have a very small headline here.
Oh, okay.
Let's see how you deal with this one, which has to do with more good news.
Florida bill requiring encryption backdoors for social media accounts has failed.
Oh, impressive.
I got it. I had to squint a little, but I got it.
So we've been talking about this one for a while. This has to do with not only encryption backdoors, but like the online ID stuff and everything. Like they want total control. They don't want anything hidden from the all-seeing eye. Thankfully, that did not go through in Florida.
There's still a little bit of sanity down there between all the croc wrangling and
snakes.
Yeah.
And obviously now we're saying that nobody gets to buy Chinese AI chips, but also we don't want our AI chips eventually getting to China. But what can you do about that? Because we've already found out that middlemen will make that money. That's easy money. Hey, I'll buy them and then I'll sell them for, mark it up. And they're saying we need ways to do that. And of course, how are we going to do it? More surveillance.
U.S. Senator introduces bill calling for location tracking on AI chips to limit China access.
So they're saying you're going to have to track these things all through their lives. And if they get diverted from their destination that we expected them to be, then somebody's going to have to do something about that.
It's going to be expensive to track down, isn't it?
Well, that's interesting because putting tracking stuff in the hardware is something that we're constantly saying China is doing.
Didn't they do that story years ago? I can't remember if it was China. I think it was, where they had it was like the size of a pencil. It was so tiny.
That was the super micro thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know exactly. That one was weird because it seemed like the facts changed.
Yeah.
As the story moved along. And we have a lot of this happening right now, which is we have stuff designed to stop our AI from getting out, but Trump doesn't like that. He doesn't seem to like set rules for everybody. He wants individual negotiation. And so it's always tear it out and renegotiate individually.
Trump administration officially rescinds Biden's AI diffusion rules.
Doesn't mean that we're going to let that happen. Just means that he wants to talk to everybody. He loves to hop on a call.
That micromanagement, man.
And moving south, we have Mexico, who is, they're probably going to get a big shot in the arm from all of this because, they can be a trade partner, but they have been insulted.
Yeah.
They have to save some face.
Mexico sues Google over changing Gulf of Mexico's name for U.S. users. I don't know if it's still true, but for a while it was Gulf of America. I haven't looked at it.
On Google Maps, yeah.
It's still there?
I think it still is, yeah. I didn't check today, but now here's the thing about this, though. What are the damages?
I don't know. I feel like it's more embarrassing for Google than Mexico.
She's saying that technically only the part over the U.S. shelf, the continental shelf, should be the Gulf of America. And the Gulf of Mexico over the Mexican shelf should still be the Gulf of Mexico. That's not what Google did. They changed the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, maybe. But again, what are the damages? And AI copyright stuff is still hotly contested. The UK had kind of took a light hand when they came out with their stuff because they were saying if it's text, maybe we just let them do whatever they want. And a lot of their creatives, they don't enjoy that.
Paul McCartney, Elton John, other creatives demand AI comes clean on scraping. Musicians, artists, writers, actors urge government to protect copyright.
They're right.
Yeah.
It's definitely stealing their stuff and training on it. But is it transformative enough? Does it matter?
Considering that most people are like, oh, this sounds like Elton John, or you put in the prompt, I want a song that sounds like Elton John. Probably not. If it is transformative at that point, then AI is not doing its job.
And it can actively summarize works, stuff like that. One thing that we can it seems like everybody in the world kind of agrees on, which is rare, is that social media and all screen time is destroying the children's minds. Just turning them into mush.
It's destroying my mind.
I'm sure, yeah. And our minds are not even as, open to that kind of thing.
Not even as elastic anymore. It's just hardening with microplastics.
So what's it doing to the kids? And one by one, every country is sort of doing something about it.
Ireland seriously considering banning social media for under 16s. Who did this last week? I forget what country.
Australia's done it. France got it out of the schools.
I think it was France we talked about last week.
There were several states that have gotten it. New York, I think.
New York was one.
Maybe one of the New England states has done it. But this is different. This is not at school. This is just straight up, you cannot be on it. Which is going to make it so alluring for the kids.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't have a phone or anything until I was 16. I was allowed to use a computer, but it was in a family room and it was a limited amount of time.
Yeah, but it wasn't as common back then.
Yeah. Now,
if you're the kid at school with no phone, imagine the ostracism that you experience every day.
Yeah. Think how happy you are, just not realizing how terrible the world is.
Oh, what are you guys doing this weekend? Oh, it'll be in the group chat. Oh, you don't have a phone?
Bummer.
Sorry, poor. Now, one thing that I like to talk about is that recycling is and always has been a huge scam, a massive scam. It's been run by the plastics industry from day one. And now electronic waste, you ever see the documentary? There's a place in Africa where they just burn the cables and to get the copper out of it.
I've heard of that, but I haven't seen the documentary.
They're all just inhaling and they have a lifespan of 20 years. Well, that kind of thing still goes on, but you have to keep it more secret, and these guys got caught.
Thai officials seize over 200 tons of electronic waste illegally imported from the U.S.
Now, that looks like just metal shavings and stuff, right? That's what was on the shipping label. But in fact, I thought there was a picture.
There's a slider there.
Oh, yeah,
there you go.
Hidden in there, PCBs.
Oh.
Dirty, filthy PCBs.
Why would you ever import junk when you could just give it to Wendell? And Wendell could just put it in the basement.
Yeah, he doesn't have the storage for that, even though he would pretend that he did. And moving to social media, Facebook has a long history in Africa. And they've
They really want people to use it there.
And they've maybe not treated the African people the best. And it's clear that sometimes they use them sort of a testing ground for their more nefarious things. Well, Nigeria has actually stood up for once and said, hey, no, you're not allowed to do this. And it's a paltry sum, but Facebook is so petulant, they don't want to pay it.
Wow. Meta threatens to, sorry, this one's a hard one to read, even though it's not as small as the other. Meta threatens to pull Facebook and Instagram out of Nigeria over $290 million for fine imposed for violation of local privacy laws.
You're not getting on that plane.
I am getting on that plane. Actually, I don't know if I'm getting on the plane, but if I do, it won't be because of a failed vision test. Why would they test my vision for me to ride in a plane?
You have to get a driver's license.
Oh, but what if I do a passport?
You have to get the real ID, right?
I think you can do it with a passport too.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's a loophole.
Great, so you can continue to drive dangerously.
Yeah. I drove here in the rain. It was fine for me.
So yeah, Nigeria, they're just saying $290 million. That's nothing to Facebook.
Yeah.
They pay that to a European country every week. But here they're just like, well, maybe Nigeria won't have Facebook, which the people there use it a ton. They have a massive percentage of users. And they use it for a lot of business and,
probably like Marketplace.
Yeah.
Which is what everyone uses Facebook for now.
So they definitely are not treating them with the same respect that they do other world leaders. And here we have the people are taking to social media. And as usual, when you're on social media and you're behind that screen, you get really brave and you say things that you maybe shouldn't.
Violent threats against U.S. judges are skyrocketing online. 100% or 300% since last year. Wow.
Personally, I kind of like it when the leaders are afraid of us. I think that's a better system.
Yeah.
These in particular.
If you're watching right now, CIA man, I didn't say that.
This is a lot of backlash against judges who are stopping Trump's policies.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other stuff too, but that's the majority of it.
I mean, he's kind of been calling for that, hasn't he?
Has he?
Telling his followers these judges are curtailing my power and it's not okay.
I mean, it's definitely partisan, right? I don't think they're necessarily applying judicial. They're just doing what they think their party wants them to do, as is everybody in the government. And Meta, now you remember the Meta glasses?
Mm-hmm.
They came out and everybody was like, "Ooh, wait a minute, you're gonna have AI in that."
You're recording everything all the time.
And that means people who look at me are going to track my movements. I don't know about that. And they were like, no. We're not putting facial recognition in the glasses.
Years after promising to stop facial recognition work, Meta has a devious new plan.
So the new plan, always on facial recognition.
Just like Microsoft with, the screen scraping. We won't do that all the time. You can turn that off.
They call it super sensing, which is just another way of saying.
Yeah, they try to make it sound cool. So it's like, oh, don't turn it off.
Will remain on and recording throughout the wearer's day. Now, batteries are going to stop them from doing this for now. But as batteries improve, they're looking to do this.
Would your battery explode on your face if you had a big enough one?
I mean, you would probably feel it warming up.
Yeah, and take them off. But
Unless maybe if you're napping with your glasses on.
Who does that?
Well, there'll be a requirement so they can monitor your sleep.
Oh, just mashing into the side of your face.
And Meta over in Europe, they are saying that, hey, you guys we're not allowed to charge you, and we're not allowed to require you to let us get everything from your stuff. So maybe we won't use your data for your advertising profile, but we are going to train the AI on it, and that's different.
Meta still violating GDPR rules with latest plan to train AI on EU user data. Data.
And Noyb is none of your business. That's their organization there. And they say that they are going to sue over this. It's an Austrian fella who runs that. And he says, that's using it for AI training is not that much different from using it for the advertising profile, which seems reasonable. It's very much the same, actually. Telegram is known as a place where you can communicate with end-to-end encryption and protection and stuff like that, which of course means criminals
Telegram bans 35 billion black markets used to sell stolen data, launder crypto.
So this was Jinbi Guarantee and Hulon Guarantee. Why would they call them Guarantee?
I don't know.
But this is basically the Silk Road for stolen and breached data. You can buy data sets, sell them, so forth. They've shut it down. Probably won't stop it. And the latest TikTok challenge, man, it's really crazy how the TikTok challenges just keep getting worse, right?
Do you think there are, at this point, do you think it's like foreign nation states who are like starting it, trying to get people to do?
Whatever it is, it's effective because the kids will do these things, it seems.
Kids are short-circuiting their school-issued Chromebooks for TikTok clout.
So the idea here is that you bust open your Chromebook that they gave you at school and you short something in there, which the TikTok, I guess, teaches you how to do. And it explodes into smoke and everybody celebrates. It's like, oh, yeah, the challenge is complete.
I've ruined something that's supposed to be an educational aid.
We've done it. So they are looking into instances of this and they're very concerned that it is popular.
It's basically like burning books in a way, like destroying something for
it's more
literally
expensive.
no reason. Yeah.
Much more expensive than burning books.
Well, it depends on the textbook.
Burning ancient manuscripts.
Yeah.
Burning the Dead Sea Scrolls is the next TikTok challenge.
Ugh.
And TikTok is, of course, they're facing a lot of backlash about what they're doing to the kids. You know, like we were saying, Ireland is like, hey, we've seen some studies, seems really bad. And they're like, oh, well, we've got things to stop to help them. Don't worry, we're going to fix it. You don't have to ban us.
TikTok's new initiative to stop teenagers' late-night doom scrolling.
So that is a prompt to lead you into some guided meditation here. And if you ignore it, which every child will do, you get a more annoying prompt to lead you into guided meditation. That's the fix. That happens after.
Do you think it shows you TikToks that are like sleep inducing? And it's gonna empower a whole new generation of creators.
Yeah, a new kind of TikTok video,
Yeah.
right? This would be everybody can get it. Under 18s, it's required, and I think it's based on time, like a certain time of day if they're up late. 10 p.m. So after 10 p.m. local, you will get the guided meditation prompt. You're going to have to tiptoe around this headline. But yeah, Kanye, or Ye as he is known now, is he wasn't getting a lot of attention, and boy, he figured out how to fix that.
Has-been song glorifying this guy gets millions of views on X while other platforms struggle to remove it.
I've not heard it. Have you?
No. I haven't listened to Kanye since graduation.
It is kind of weird that they're just blanket saying no one can see this. I don't know if that's cool. Because if you think about it, where can you go to listen to that if you're like, oh, I think I can listen to that? Like, I think I have enough understanding of what he's talking about here to not be swayed by his opinions. I just want to hear this to see what it's about. It's basically just been memory hold. But people are re-uploading it, like guerrilla style for some reason.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll.
But yeah, wow. That is a bold strategy he's got for his...
Man needs to get back on meds and make good music again.
Wow, those days might be over.
Yeah.
For the good music, I mean. I don't know. Maybe that's a banger song. We don't know. I've not heard it. What if it's got just the best beat you've ever heard?
I doubt it. Having listened to some of his other stuff.
Well, I don't know if he produced it. I'm sure somebody else is making the beats.
Do you think, does someone like, well, I don't really like the lyrics, but this gig pays really, really well.
Oh, it's probably, I think the beat usually comes first, right?
Does it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pretty sure, yeah.
What if he bought the beat?
Yeah.
And the guy was just like, yeah,
Right,
okay.
yeah.
And then like, yeah, the music, oh no.
Yeah, that could easily be the truth.
Oh, that sucks. Well, it says you have a really big producer credit. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
And the other thing on Twitter this week that kind of surprised everybody was that Grok, which will step in if you summon it, if you at Grok, it'll actually respond to the tweets and stuff. And it didn't really stay on topic.
XAI's Grok suddenly can't stop bringing up I don't,
bad things.
yeah, can I say that? No, in South Africa, we'll be demonetized.
So as you can see here, this was something about baseball. And someone said, hey, Grok, is this accurate? And Grok responded, just totally off topic. Now, why would they do that? Well, luckily there was a follow-up that I managed to catch right before we came in today.
Grok's comment, fixation, caused by unauthorized modification.
Which is the second time that's happened. Remember, there was another, it was a political thing. I don't remember exactly what it was. But everybody was like, hey, this is obviously some kind of weird, what's going on here? And I was like, oh, no, that's a rogue employee. So this is another rogue employee who's been blamed for this.
Have they been punished? Are they fired? Like, there's no details about who this employee is?
Oh, I'm sure we're going to have a story about that next week. Join us then.
Oh, wow, that's the last story.
That's it.
That's it. All right. Well, actually, do see us, not next week, I guess tomorrow, for more stories.
Both would be good.
Yeah,
Should
do both.